Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host Simon Conboy. Carrying on today with the draft preview series, this episode will be focusing on the AFC South upstarts, the Tennessee Titans. Now, if you've not seen one of these episodes before, what I'll be doing is going through the team's major needs with free agency essentially having wrapped up at this point, heading into next week's draft, offering up my mock picks from round 1 and also players from picks made in round 1 and I would say 2, but Titans don't have a round 2. Rounds 1 and 3 in this case, offering up players that will likely be available and possibly considered by the team in order to address those needs. So for the Titans, the primary needs I've got listed heading into this draft are the cornerback spot. Look very thin at that position. Of course, they brought in Logan Ryan. They also got rid of McCourty, and even if they'd kept McCourty in the roster, that was still a position of need. The wide receiver spot, they've got some guys there, but they really need to try and find someone that can stick around for a while and give Marcus Mariota a top target to develop a rapport with and give him a real go-to option. And also the middle linebacker spot, I quite like the defense as front seven as a whole, but I do feel, especially losing Zach Brown left and then had some success elsewhere. He's with Washington now. They've just not really got anyone there can do with an athletic thumper in the middle. Anyone who's seen the Titans the last couple of years knows that there is a potential to run on this team. I think they could do with an enforcer there in the middle. So in the first round for my mock, I've got them taking Marshawn Lattimore, the cornerback, with the 5th overall pick. And I've also got them going with John Ross, the wide receiver, at 18, the wide receiver from Washington. Now, in terms of that 5th pick, I think it's going to be one of the safeties or corners. I'd be surprised if not. It can also be Humphrey. Depends who they like more. I personally have Lattimore rated higher, so I think that'd be where they would be likely to go. I wouldn't be shocked if they went with Jamal Adams or even potentially Malik Hooker at this spot. Real surprise if John Allen slides to them. Wouldn't be shocked to see that. I do think they could do with another high-end impact defensive lineman. Him and Jarrell Casey would make for a pretty good tandem there, I think. Reuben Foster, I think, is the wild card. If they really like him, I think he'd be worth selecting. It seems awful high for a backer, but it's a big need, and they're not going to have a shot at him, I wouldn't think, with their later picks. I think that's an outside long shot, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it were to happen. In terms of the 18th pick, I think there's a lot more options there, of course. If they don't go corner, they could look at Conley, possibly Tre'Davious White if they like him enough. If one of the safeties falls, expect to see them taken at that point, although I don't think Hooker or Adams gets quite to this point. I think someone would scoop them up to stop that fall. A lot of teams needing safeties before this selection. One of the wide receivers, if Corey Davis or Mike Williams are available, I absolutely think they're the pick. I'm not sure they will be. I would suspect they're both gone. A better chance I think Davis is available, and if so, they may get that opportunity. I could also see them addressing the tight end spot here, whether it's Njoku or OJ Howard. I think someone may scoop up Howard beforehand. It's difficult to predict with tight ends, of course, because of the positional value. Some teams don't necessarily utilise them a huge amount, but I think either way it would give them a great 2 tight end attack going into next season, give them an heir apparent to Delaney Walker, who's been really stellar in his time with the Titans. Not sure anyone expected to get quite the level of impact that they have got from him. So that's been a real surprise. They could even go with one of the backers here. Again, guys I mentioned just now in the Texans video, Hassan Reddick, Zach Cunningham. If either of them are available, I wouldn't be all that surprised to see them considered. Moving into round 3, of course, Titans not having a number 2 pick this year. They've got 2 thirds. So again, looking at the needs, I think this is a good spot for them to try and pick up another safety, whether it's a guy like Eddie Jackson, Justin Evans, Marcus May. I think these are the 3 guys that may be available and could well end up being targeted. Eric Wilson, Anthony Walker, Duke Riley, some of the linebackers that I think may be considered. George Kittle and Bucky Hodges are 2 tight ends I could see going in the 3rd. I think they may consider either one of them. And also Jaleel Johnson, the nose tackle. I think he could be considered. I'm surprised the Titans weren't more active trying to seek out a nose tackle this offseason, considering some of the options that were available. I think that those are likely the guys that they look at. I think there is an outside shot considering the talent of the group of running backs, and I don't think DeMarco Murray is going to be in Tennessee all that long, as good as he was last year. I think they've got Derrick Henry waiting in the wings. I wouldn't be shocked to see them take a running back with more breakaway speed, potential. Derrick Henry 1-2 punch. I don't know if Henry would be an ideal every down back. I think if they could get a guy who's a bit more versatile in the third round, I think that would be really good value. And you can always do with some quality depth, and this might be a good year for them to do so. I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to happen, but it would certainly be worth considering in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. If you've enjoyed this episode, I recommend checking out some more. I'm going to have every team covered by the time the draft rolls around. Going to be checking out. We're going to be doing a podcast hopefully tomorrow, and then hopefully doing a live stream for the first round along with a couple of my friends. So that should be entertaining. You might get to meet them on the podcast tomorrow. Hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. It'll just be a discussion of the off season thus far and a bit of a preview for next week's draft. As always, do you agree with what I've been saying? Let me know if you agree, don't. If there's any particular players you'd like to see this team target, let me know, whether it's below in the comment section, Cover Zero on Facebook, or find me on Twitter at Simon Conboy. I'll do my absolute best to get back in touch with everyone. As always, like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon, all that good stuff would be thoroughly appreciated. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for your time, and go Bucks.